Okay, so what I kind of wanted to talk about today was semen retention and what it means in your life. So I haven't really scripted any of this, haven't really planned any of it. I'm kind of just going to spitball here. But basically what happens when you're masturbating all the time, watching porn all the time, and getting stuck in your lust mindset is you're constantly overloading your dopamine receptors, and it's not allowing you to have an authentic human experience. So basically, your brain is seeing the orgasm and porn and sex as the be-all end-all of existence. And if you're not constantly doing those things, then or when you're constantly doing those things, your experience will be, the rest of your experience will be somewhat like muddled and miserable, because your brain is using that peak dopamine as its baseline for what an enjoyable experience is. So once you kind of break away from that, once you kind of stop having sex, you stop masturbating, you stop looking at porn, your dopamine kind of recovers and becomes normal again. Kind of like when you were younger. And what will then begin to happen is you'll be able to enjoy basically any experience, because your brain will no longer be comparing what is an enjoyable experience to the orgasm or looking at porn or whatever it may be. And what I've noticed is, I'm bad for this, but I'll seek out like other vices, and you'll have to watch this if you're thinking of going on semen retention. You'll seek out other vices like maybe food or alcohol or other substances. But you just slowly cut those out, because semen retention gives you the willpower and discipline to sort of cut those things out thereafter. You'll just have more discipline, because sex is probably the hardest urge to control. And so once you've done that, everything else kind of just falls into place over time. And if you're kind of new to the practice, or you're thinking about it, you're not really sure, it's life-changing, really. And there's so much more that goes into it that I couldn't even cover it in one video. There's spiritual sort of like woo-woo stuff that goes into it too, that, I might lose some of you with it, but like we sort of, when you get into the 2 and 3 month streak range, like you'll sort of realize that we live on just more than one plane of existence, more than one dimension. And you'll basically, right now everyone is sort of living on the physical plane, the three-dimensional plane. And once you start this practice, because most behaviors that are immoral, I feel like they sort of start with sex. If you've ever, any sort of trauma you have, I bet it's around like a bad relationship or something involving sex or something involving violence. You know what I mean? So basically, when you're not having sex, you're not hurting people, you're not hurting their feelings, you don't have to go through all this relationship drama and all this. And it just makes it that there's like a karmic law to life. And if you're not hurting people, then God comes into your life. And for lack of better words, I say God, but you can say whatever you want. The universe, the creator. I'm not religious by any means, but I've just noticed over time, I used to kind of be agnostic, didn't really believe in anything, but through SR, it's kind of woken me up to this idea of creator or the universe working in unison with you, or accessing flow state and all this. And when you have a higher vibration or a closer relationship with God, you're going to be able to access these higher realms of existence. And to give you an example of how this works is, I read this study once, and they measured the visual cortex of people hallucinating on psychedelics, And they found that the visual cortex didn't change even though those people were hallucinating, which to me says that the hallucinations are always there. We just don't have the right perspective to view them all the time. And so basically the third, the fourth, the fifth dimension, all the dimensions are here in the third dimensional space. We just can't evolve from our ego to access those dimensions, right? And you're gonna have to bear with me because it's a bit woo-woo, but I believe this to be true. And even like I said, the fucking study suggests that that's the case. So basically, when you can astral project, you will experience these beings of energy. And some of these beings are dark. They have dark energy, and you'll feel their dark presence. And some of them are light beings, and you'll feel that they're benevolent and they're good. What I believe to be true is that these beings in the fourth dimensional plane, or whatever dimension they come from, they use our bodies as vessels to do their bidding, essentially. I had listened to this trip report of this guy saying that he actually went to this plane and this being actually asked him if he could use the vessel, and he used it for whatever 5 or 10 minutes, and then he's like, thanks, I enjoyed this, and just left. So I mean, I've briefly experienced the astral plane. That hasn't happened to me, that specific thing, but I've experienced women in my life completely turning on a dime, like they were possessed by a demon or something, completely acting in a weird fucking demonic way. And just that those experiences have led me to believe that people who are of a lower vibration or a high ego sort of stance are easily manipulated by the dark beings to do their bidding. And there's like a spiritual war going on this fourth dimensional plane that most people aren't aware of. And if you are acting morally righteous, the good benevolent beings will use you in the war to do their bidding. And if you act immoral, then the dark beings will use you and they will make you their bitch. So yeah, it's just better to be one of the light beings. So basically that's my take on that, and make of it what you will, but that is the truth. And I think you'll find that if you go on this practice, God will reward you, kind of like Nikola Tesla. I mean, he was a lifelong celibate, and he was given the secrets of the universe. He spoke a lot about vibrations. He was clearly operating on a higher vibration, and he was in tune with the universal law. Because once you're enlightened like that, you are no longer separate from the universe. And because you're not separate from it, it offers you everything that it has to show. Because once you're a part of the universe, you're able to access the knowledge. So, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but I can't really describe it any other way. So, yeah, give the practice a try. I recommend trying 30 to 60 days. A lot of the benefits come after day 60. So if you want to see for yourself, yeah, try it out. All right, that's it for now. Good luck. See ya.